Yesterday, Tesla shocked the world, launching unsupervised robotaxis in both Houston and Dallas, two of the top 10 largest cities in the US, on the same day. Still very small scale, and you can see on screen now some highlights from a 16-minute trip in Houston in an unsupervised Tesla Model Y. And impressively, apparently working on the weekends, we have a new note from Morgan Stanley's analyst covering Tesla. Let me quote, "In our view, this represents tangible progress at a time when the market was growing increasingly skeptical about Tesla's robotaxi expansion timeline." Morgan Stanley referencing this timeline, which first appeared in Tesla's most recent quarterly earnings, Q4 2025. Under the services section, we have info on robotaxi, FSD supervised, and automated services. Specifically, a beautiful trend in cumulative paid robotaxi miles, and this table outlining Tesla's robotaxi rollout plans for the first half of 2026 at the time of the Q4 report early this year. Tesla already operating with safety monitors behind the driver's seat in San Francisco Bay Area, ramping unsupervised autonomy in Austin, roughly a quarter of the fleet fully unsupervised. They also told us in the first half of the year they intended on launching in Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and Las Vegas. And yesterday, simultaneously, bam, Dallas, bam, Houston. With a little over 2 months left in the quarter, Tesla still with 6 cities on their timeline by end of June. Until yesterday, most folks extremely skeptical about Tesla's chances of launching in any additional cities, let alone 2 on a single day, let alone getting through the entire list laid out in the Q4 2025 earnings report. But now, as Morgan Stanley point out in this new note, this does represent tangible progress at a time when the market was growing increasingly skeptical about Tesla's robotaxi expansion timeline. Remember, Tesla's been warning people, warning investors, telling us their plans. They're not always right on timelines. But I think at this point, it's safe to say they are on track with their robotaxi rollout for the first half of the year. Back to the note. This is a material evolution from the Austin rollout, where Tesla initially relied on human safety monitors for several months before beginning to phase them out. And Morgan Stanley have a real important point here. The balls, the confidence for Tesla to launch in not just 1 but 2 cities on the same day, and to have at least 1 vehicle in each city, fully autonomous, completely unsupervised. Just a quick side note as well, in case anyone's forgotten or doesn't pay too close attention. Tesla's dedicated robotaxi, the Cybercab, is currently being produced. Production's starting to ramp now. It's April. They're literally making these things now. By end of first half of this year, Tesla likely to be legally operating completely unsupervised Model Ys autonomously in a handful of cities throughout the United States, just as Cybercab starts to ramp from very low volumes to reasonable volumes. Autonomy is here. The note continues, "We believe a successful robotaxi rollout has the potential to create a powerful flywheel across Tesla's ecosystem. Incremental unsupervised robotaxi miles improve the underlying autonomy model, which accelerates the path to personal unsupervised FSD. This in turn supports higher FSD attach rates, improves automotive demand, and cash flow generation. In the context of rising capex and near-term cash burn, we see advancements in FSD as key to reinvigorate auto sales and margins to fund Tesla's longer-term ambitions with physical AI." It is nice to hear Morgan Stanley both recognizing the incredible progress with Tesla FSD, a massive shock of launching in 2 cities at the same time with some unsupervised vehicles, a massive change from the initial Austin rollout, with supervision, to talk about the major financial implications to Tesla scaling robotaxis globally, how this is likely to cause a massive increase in the number of consumers interested in buying Tesla vehicles, because if they can get FSD unsupervised, it's a huge value add, especially in really busy cities with lots of traffic, stop and go, make your commute a lot easier. There's a major difference between being required to supervise just in case and knowing you can legally and safely go to sleep, do work, call your mother. And they also mention Tesla's longer-term intent to develop physical AI. They're talking about, in addition to autonomy, the Optimus humanoid robot. Let me set the scene. Imagine you're a legacy automotive company or an EV startup. As I record this in April 2026, only one company on Earth is making money selling electric vehicles to consumers anywhere at reasonable volumes. That company is Tesla. They are so far ahead in terms of the value that they can offer and the price for which they can produce said product, that they have the world's #1 selling vehicle by revenue year after year after year after year, the Model Y. It's not even close. Even in China, Model Y outselling vehicles that are priced a third, a quarter the cost. Only Tesla is making money selling electric vehicles at volume. Despite the claims from a bunch of midwits that the competition has caught up to Tesla, if your idea of having caught up is losing money on every vehicle you sell to a consumer, trying to compete with Tesla on cost because that's the only thing you can offer, if you match them on value, your costs are so much higher that you have to sell at major losses just to move product. Not only is this an unsustainable business model, by the way, take a moment to really understand what I mean. When I say unsustainable, I mean these companies are going to go bust trying to compete with Tesla. But the level of brain damage someone would require to suggest that these companies who have unsustainable business models and are losing money trying to compete with Tesla's electric vehicles on the same planet, it's called Earth, to suggest they've caught up to Tesla somehow, these people need some serious assistance in analysing what is wrong with their brain. This claim is so absurd. It is identical to you going out and paying for sex and then claiming to be a ladies' man. If the only way anyone's playing your skin flute is for you to pay them, what difference is there between that and the only way a customer is going to buy your electric vehicle when they could instead get a Tesla, which is what they actually want, is for you to sell that vehicle at a multi-$1,000 loss? Not only is that extremely embarrassing, but at some point you're going to run out of money and the party's over. Not a great business model. And then you see Tesla launch unsupervised FSD, Robotaxis. It's the software that consumers can subscribe to. It's a slightly more advanced version, but essentially the same thing. Realizing, as Morgan Stanley point out, as this software gets better, the floodgates soon open for unsupervised autonomy. Tesla already with a fleet of roughly 10 million vehicles globally. Take rates will increase as the capability increases, and there'll be a huge step change moment once customers can get fully unsupervised FSD. Print crazy money. You haven't figured out how to make money selling electric vehicles, let alone autonomy. Once customers can get fully unsupervised FSD in some Tesla vehicles, their sales obviously are going to have a major tailwind. You also realize there's no hope in continuing to produce internal combustion engine vehicles. How do you deal with this realization? You're leading a legacy auto company or an EV startup. You have no hope in catching up to Tesla's EV costs, so you're cooked there. You're not even trying to develop autonomy, so you're giga cooked. How do you handle this truth, this reality? And how do you allay the valid concerns of both your employees and your investors? Well, in the case of Ford CEO Jim Farley, who I suspect, by the way, no evidence whatsoever, tinfoil hat alert, conspiracy alert, probably got a tap on the shoulder over the last few years as he was saying things that were both true, reasonable, fair, and valid about both Tesla and Elon Musk, including their incredible engineering. Jim, stop saying nice things about Tesla. You don't understand, even though it's true. You're not allowed to say that anymore. A similar tale may have occurred to former VW CEO Herbert Diess, who was saying true things about Tesla, warning everybody that they're going to get cooked if they don't do their best to imitate, mimic, replicate, and catch up to Tesla. Next minute, he was shown the door. Not that I'm suggesting that that had anything to do with his comments about Tesla, and I'm sure that Jim definitely didn't get a tap on the shoulder for similar reasons. But what I am saying is that if you're Jim Farley right now, suddenly you're no longer allowed to really say positive things about Tesla. Instead, this is how you cope. Check this out. Quote, "If you're an American and you want us to beat the Chinese in the car business, you're going to want to pay attention, not necessarily to Tesla. Nothing against Tesla. They've been doing great. But oh shit, this is hard. But they really don't have an updated vehicle." You want to know what I think? You probably do because you're watching this video. I think that Jim Farley is scared to acknowledge how far ahead Tesla is. He's also been tapped on the shoulder and said, "Hey bro, stop telling people in the United States how great Tesla is. They can buy Teslas instead of us. Stop doing that. It's bad for our brand." And instead, he's now trying to make China the boogeyman. Let's beat China. We have to win against China. Therefore, forget Tesla. They don't exist. I'm not allowed to say positive things about them. They're not even real anymore. No such thing as Tesla. It's the Chinese EVs that you can't even buy in the United States yet that we need to be worried about. Plus, Tesla still hasn't changed the name of the world's best-selling vehicle. Just like Apple hasn't changed the name of the iPhone. And until they change the name of the product, no more consumers will buy it until the name changes because they don't know that there's a new version that's better and better all the time. In fact, I'm just going to make a quick call to my good friend Tim Cook over at Apple and let him know, "Hey bro, have you considered changing the name of your incredible market-dominating, profit-siphoning iPhone, which you haven't really updated, despite the quintillions of dollars you're printing, selling these things quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter with the same fucking name, iPhone?" Back to this quote. "The best in the business for us, cost-wise and competition-wise, supply chain, manufacturing, expertise, and the IP of the vehicle was really BYD." Again, tinfoil hat alert, but bro, he 100% got tapped on the shoulder by somebody. In this next cycle of EV customers in the US, they want pickups and utilities and all these different body styles, but they want them at $30,000, not $50,000. That is the gift that China gave us. To be fearful and respectful enough of their progress that we could not organically just phone it in. We needed to do what Americans sometimes do great, which is use innovation to compete against the best in the world, except the best in the world is actually Tesla in our own backyard. But again, we're not allowed to mention them because some of you might buy one of those instead of a Ford. P.S. China bad, US good, therefore Tesla doesn't exist, but support Ford. In this quote posted on X by Sawyer Merritt, he adds, so this is no longer the quote from the article, something that Jim Farley didn't mention in the interview that is worth noting. The Tesla Model Y was the top-selling passenger vehicle in China in March 2026. Just under 40,000 registrations, beating all EVs and ICE models despite its average selling price being higher than others in the top 10 list, and not just higher, but 3 to 4 times higher. Elon Musk decided to chime in. Again, we've just heard Sawyer accurately pointing out that Model Y outsold everything in China last month. Musk says this is before supervised FSD is approved in China. Limiting factor is production output in Shanghai. Yeah, just to be clear, in China you cannot subscribe to FSD supervised yet. Keyword yet. Imagine what happens when consumers can. How much additional value now does a Model 3 or Model Y represent as a consumer? And again, Model Y already number one selling vehicle, any kind, in China. So it appears that Jim Farley and Ford have now taken their cope to a whole new level. How's the saying go? If you can't beat them, pretend they don't exist. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.